So we're going to start by getting some questions from our lovely audience, and our first question is from Tim. Tim, hello, Tim. What's your question?
After Nigel Farage was treated like a rock star at the recent Tory conference, would he make a good Tory leader?
This is very interesting. I've seen a lot of debates about this, Tim, online. A lot of people saying, well, maybe he's the right person for the job. I mean, look, they're definitely not getting in next time, are they? So maybe they need someone like that. Do you think that Nigel Farage would be a good leader, Tim?
Yeah.
You do?
Possibly.
Possibly. OK, Paul, do you have any thoughts? I mean, obviously, he's you know, he's a GBNews presenter, so we might have a bit of bias here, but what do you think?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways to look at this. I think the first way to look at it is he would be the first Conservative leader since Margaret Thatcher.
There's that.
There was a woman.
I wasn't expecting... There was a woman. He would be, because we've not really had a Conservative leader since then. And also, it does seem to me that what we're seeing is this is all coming from the left. I mean, he's not even said that he would want to rejoin as a member of the Conservative Party.
No, it's very premature, isn't it?
So it feels to me like there was an element of the left that saw the Conservative conference and saw how much fun Nigel was having and thought, we don't like this, we're just going to say things that... just emotional things they were saying. That's how it felt.
I don't think I can cope with another lead. I mean, we've had 3 in the course of one...
But that's the thing. Say what you like about Starmer. He's kept in the job where he's watched however many other people. And obviously, I think Farage likes a fag. That's not a euphemism. I think he's a heavy smoker.
Yes.
Rishi's against that. So it would be interesting to have someone that was a chain smoker.
Well, we're going to talk later. We're going to have a debate later about the smoking ban. So
wow.
maybe we'll get into that.
OK.
It's an interesting one. OK, we're going to move on to a question now from Alan. Where is Alan? Hi, Alan.
Hi there, guys. Well, Nigel did say last night at the Reform UK conference that he was not going to go back to the Conservative Party.
Oh, he's ruled it out, has he?
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, thank you for correcting
ruled
me.
it out.
Thanks, Alan.
He basically
for making it look like I don't know what I'm talking about. Live on air. No, that's what we need the audience for.
Well, my question is, well, some senior Tories are telling me they think the percentage chance of them winning the next general is about 30%.
Yeah.
So are we going to see a Labour landslide victory?
So, well, there was a poll this week. I saw it in The Guardian, so I don't know how much it can be trusted, but it was talking about Labour getting a landslide victory, and they're talking about 12 Conservative cabinet ministers would lose their seats, and that the Tories would not retain any of the Red Wall seats that they had acquired in the previous election. That's quite a major
It felt like The Guardian was trying to manifest that when as I read that story, that's just what it felt like.
Yeah, but they can't lie. I mean, the polls got to be real, you know.
Yeah, but it depends who they ask. All polls are real, aren't they? But if you just ask 3 people that agree with you...
I don't know, though, because a lot of it, even Conservative supporters don't...
And I do agree. I certainly do agree with him on that fact. I'm not sure I see the evidence for a landslide yet, on the basis that all the Labour Party and Keir Starmer in particular are offering is not Tory.
Yeah, but that can win.
That will win.
I mean, Biden won on not Trump. He was stuck in the basement for the whole campaign.
Oh, my God. Was he a victim of Fritzl?
No. He was just keeping himself to himself.
Well, I'm very much the same.
So, listen, I mean, Bruce, the thing is, I'm convinced that the Tories don't really stand a chance in the next election. And I would have liked it at the party conference if Rishi had gone out and said, look, we're not going to get in. Let's just have a laugh. You know?
Do you think he's capable of actually saying something like that?
I'm not sure he's capable of joy, but I think he could have feigned it.
No. Yeah, well...
His wife could have said it.
There we go.
She went up first, didn't she? She could have just said that.
She seems very prolific.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like this country's Michelle Obama.
There we go, Bruce. Do you think that there's going to be a landslide for Labour?
I don't know. So in Scotland, which is where I'm from, they had it was Rutherglen and Hamilton and Typhoid Mary, Margaret Ferrier. That was that woman with... did you know something, right? Well, even over and above that she went on a train with COVID, why would you dye your hair that dark? She just looked so hellish. Like, she really did.
Need to focus on the question.
Well, no, I am. But then, so Labour got in, but it wasn't a huge... I think it was like about 30,000 of the electorate.
But
so it
nowhere
wasn't
in
massive.
Scotland, are they, Labour, really?
No, I think they're on the rise,
really?
To be quite honest with you. Yeah.
It'd be interesting, but then the Tories are nowhere in Scotland either, so it's...
Well, they are the opposition party at this moment in time. Yeah.
OK, very interesting. OK, we'll move on to another question now, if we may. This is from David. David, hello.
Hi, guys. Change of tack here. Is there any demand for open categories in sport?
Yeah, so this is this news story this week about transgender World Cup swimming races, and they set up an open category, and this is seen very much as a kind of a sign of easy fix for the problem of the debate surrounding trans athletes in women's sports. The open category means that anyone can compete, so however you identify, you can compete, and they set up those categories, and the problem is no one entered. And this was the World Cup event in Berlin. No swimmers wanted to do it. Now, Paul, this suggests to me... Well, what does it suggest to you? I won't say yet. What do you think?
That swimming is binary. That basically you've got men and women, and I mean, I'm not surprised by this at all. I think it's the sort of thing I probably would have suggested we did in the past. We should probably have a trans category.
Yeah.
But one thing that's demonstrably true about the trans debate is it only really seems to affect, in the media's eyes, trans women. So we don't talk about trans men competing in weightlifting or
and
swimming.
why is that?
That's, well, because men are physically different, so they can absolutely pound women to death and win championships.
Well, this is the point, because if someone who is biologically male, who identifies as female, enters into a category with women, they're probably going to do pretty well.
Exactly.
If they enter the open category, not so much. I mean, I think that's
so
what
they
this
didn't
shows.
enter, and I don't think that's cynical to point out. I think that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Unless they just all collectively decided that they didn't want this separate third category, but I can't believe that.
Well, it's interesting, Bruce, isn't it? Because the whole reason why we have sex-segregated sports was so that women could compete in a professional capacity. That's why it exists in the first place.
Well, we've talked about this before, haven't we? That the fact of the matter was that some people believed that, you know, women weren't going to compete against men, so they had to have women-only categories.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, because it's sport, zero interest.
Well, yes, I
it's
know
just,
that.
You know, it's not for me. But
You surprise me, Bruce.
Do I? That's the thing. Yeah, I'm an enigma.
Yeah, not even backgammon.
No, I find that confusing. I'm dyslexic, so yeah, and I don't like strange textures.
OK, let's get another question now. This one is from Finn. Where is Finn? Hi, Finn.
Should Rishi Sunak be arrested?
Yes. Plain and simple. Let's do it now.
Should he be arrested for making that joke about Nicola Sturgeon?
Yeah, so Police Scotland have said that they're not taking action. There was a complaint about a comment he made. Well, it was a joke, wasn't it, Finn?
What did he say?
Well, do you remember what he said?
Yeah, it was something along the lines of, because obviously she's just been released, so he then said, just like the UK's going down, or she wanted the UK to go down, maybe she's going down.
Yes, Bruce, be careful
On
what you
who?
say here. But I mean, like, even that, like, it's so obviously structured as a joke. And even if you don't find the joke funny, it is still a joke. The problem is, I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, some of the jokes you tell, Bruce, could get you in a lot of trouble.
I don't think I've ever told a joke in my life. I think people need to get a grip.
Yeah.
And I think we need to focus on bigger issues than people, you know, saying something for a laugh.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a quip, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's the whole thing.
Fine, but she's
I'm
had worse.
sure, Nicola, she'll be in the camper van. She'll be fine. She'll be writing her book and all that kind of stuff. She loves an audiobook. She'll be listening to podcasts. She's busy.
Yeah, she's very busy.
She's learning to drive.
Is that right?
Yeah.
God love her.
In the wake of a climate emergency.
What do you think about this one?
Well, I mean, I can't imagine Police Scotland taking it particularly seriously unless he'd misgendered her in some way.
Well, that's, you know, I mean, the thing is, Police Scotland have got a database of jokes, of jokes that people have made online, which they keep, and they don't notify the people who have made the... Yes,
Can we get
absolutely
access?
true. There's a real... I mean, I'm not blaming you, Bruce, but there is a real problem with authoritarianism among the Scottish police. There really is. There's a genuine problem there.
Oh, wow.
They put out those tweets saying, make sure you don't say anything offensive online or we'll be knocking on your door. But I find that offensive.
I think the whole thing was relatively cynical, and the reason I think that is because it was the Elba Party that reported it to the police. The Elba Party being run by Salmon, who's not exactly...
Oh, you think this is political opportunism?
I think it was, because it was never going to lead anywhere, was it? Because if you read the joke, there are a lot of sort of non-committal words in there, like may and should, and
yes.
it never actually said anything. Really.
More importantly, did it get a laugh?
Just yeah.
Yeah, a sort of political...
It raised a titter.
In a way that...
Raising a titter at the Conservative Party conference is about as much as you can expect.
Well, exactly.
They're not a human...
Fields of wheat.
That's right. Let's go on to Pavel. Where is Pavel? Hi, Pavel. Oh, the microphone's being passed around.
Oh, wow.
Hi, Pavel.
Hi, Andrew. It's great to be on your show.
Thank you very much.
My flatmate and I watch GBNews religiously.
Well, I'm glad.
My question is, recently Rishi Sunak made a controversial decision about HS2.
Yeah.
So is it a good thing that they stopped wasting money on it?
OK, yeah, I mean, this is a tricky one, isn't it? They've spent so much money on HS2, and it's, you know, now it's going to stop at Birmingham, you know? I mean, but what do you think, Pavel? Do you think that's...
I think they wasted so much money on it, they should just finish it.
You think they should just go through and finish it in for a penny?
They should investigate where all the money went.
Well, you see, some people say that's the sunken cost fallacy.
Rishi's friends and etc.
Yeah. OK, Paul. So the thing is, it was meant to be about improving infrastructure right up to the north, up to Manchester, over to Leeds, you know? If you're just going to stop at Birmingham, I mean, effectively it just means that people from London can get to Birmingham 10 minutes quicker.
Yeah, I mean... Again, there are two...
And who wants that?
Well, not me. There are some decent comedy clubs up there, but not many, not enough to justify the cost of the travel.
Exactly.
However, what I would say is that What was the question?
It was, well, just
Ever so sorry.
generally, should HS2
Yeah,
have
so
been
I
scrapped,
believe-
or should it go up all the way to Leeds?
Forgive me, I don't know what happened there. But I think HS2 probably should be delivered. I mean, I think a Great Britain would deliver it. I think it's not about what we deliver now, it's about what we're delivering for future generations. Also, all public spending arguably could be seen as a waste of money because it all depends on your perspective, if you're interested in rail or not. But for me, if it connects the country in a much better way, then it's a good idea. But however, I do see what Rishi Sunak has done as a good thing because he's concentrating on connecting the north better. I don't know why we have this fascination on having connect the north with the south all the time, like the south is the best place to be, which you and I know it is, but we don't want everyone. we don't want everyone down here, do we?
OK.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Speaking of someone who's very up north,
yes.
But do you feel that this is unfair, that really they should have just gone through with it, irrespective of the expense?
I think that they should actually just deliver on it, to be quite honest with you. But my point would be, you're only getting to Birmingham, is it 10 minutes quicker than you would from here? And there's a Selfridges here, there's a Selfridges in Birmingham. You can shop online. What is this all about? It needs to stop. So just do it and shut up.
Is this really all about Selfridges, though?
Not necessarily, but I mean, that's a big part of it, Andrew, and I think if you don't realise that, you're quite ignorant.
Well, that's me told. Have we got time for another question? We do. This is from Jeremy. Where's Jeremy? Hi, Jeremy.
Hi, good evening. How come there are so many female rapists all of a sudden?
It's quite a dark question asking, Jeremy, but this is, to give some background, there's been a Freedom of Information request from the Telegraph that revealed that the police have wrongly labelled hundreds of suspected rapists as women. Paul, did you read this article? Did you see this? What do you make of this?
Well, I assume this is, and having read the article, I believe it to be the case, this is all about the transgender issue. It has to be. I mean, Ida Bryson, etc.
Yes.
It can't be anything else. So we've got people that are we've got men that are identifying as women and raping women.
Yeah, I mean, I think by law it's not possible for a woman to be a rapist. This is the point. It's very interesting that, I mean, there's obviously a level of opportunism there. And when it came to the Adam Graham / Isla Bryson case, I mean, that is explosive. I mean, that pretty much... there's an argument that brought down
It was such a delicious piece of serendipity at that time because what the argument was about SoFi is that it was just a very small amount of chance that this could happen. And then the very next week, the biggest story is Ida Bryson. And it's like, well, it doesn't matter how small the chance is. If it happens once, it's a problem we need to consider. And that was the point. We were just parking the problem and saying, well, it's only a small percentage, so we don't need to worry.
I mean, this is the point, isn't it, Bruce, that, you know, it's all very well being sensitive to the way people identify, etc. But when it comes to people who've committed sexual assault, they have to be housed in the prison with their own biological sex, surely?
Well, I remember on Question Time, I can't remember her name, she's the Education Secretary in Scotland, and she wouldn't be drawn on it because it was to do with the fact that this individual. I don't know what the correct answer is, but if someone has raped someone, they should be punished accordingly.
Right.
Surely.
And I think it was such a big story, the Isla Bryson. And I think, as Paul says, it was the timing of it as well that really brought it down. But, of course, no wonder, because some of the women in prison are among the most vulnerable in the population, and of course they should be protected. Anyway,